is your favorite person or event in history and why?
Well, it's parallel to the person. King David, the successor of King Saul, and the event, David versus Goliath.
Okay, why?
It's because it's one of my favorite stories in Scripture, and I feel that it's parallel to the definition of bravery.
So I'm not going to come out and say that this event did not happen, but when I
Right.
say event or person from history, um, it requires some sort of external justification other than one singular source document.
Okay. Did Pompeii have an event that you can prove unequivocally occurred?
Well, yes, we can look at geological data and determine that Mount
Mhm.
Vesuvius erupted in, I believe it was AD 11 or 80, no, AD 92 or something to that effect. First century
So
AD.
so there's no historicity in the epistemic argument of either tag or scholarly consensus. Like none of that matters in regards of you know outside accounts of you and I.
What was the criteria that I gave for proving that a historical event happened?
Can you prove that King David never reigned in Israel?
No, I'm asking you to prove that he did.
Well, my claim isn't that it happened or did not happen. My claim is that it's the favorite person event in history and why.
Yes, and then I gave the criteria that the evidence for this event, which you said is parallel to the person, the evidence for the event needs to exist external to a single document.
Well, it's my faith preference.
That's the criteria I'm giving because the purpose of this
Are
live
you
is
rejecting?
the
But hang
purpose
on.
of the purpose of
As
this
a
live
non-theist, are you rejecting my subjective preference?
the purpose of this live is to come up with topics for me to find books about and read about next year. I already own a Bible, so can you pick a different event?
So that part wasn't in your topic.
Yeah, neither is the fact that I like peanut butter, but it's still true.
What does peanut butter have to do with any word I've used today on your
Your
life?
your contention is that I didn't put it in the prompt, so it doesn't apply, and it's not true, right?
Okay. My favorite person in history is Charlie Kirk, and the event would be any one of his debates. So according to your logic, you're now going to go do a deep dive on the authentic nature of Charlie Kirk, and not just clips, right? He also published a book.
Okay, sure, but the event being any one of his debates, there would need to be a book written on one of his debates.
So there's no book about Matt Dillahunty, but yet Matt Dillahunty is a famous debater.
That's not what you said. You said the event would be any one of his debates.
Right, but why are you adding a criteria to the person? Like, you tell me what would qualify as a person that I can mention for you, and
This
then I'll
is,
think about
bro, this isn't a debate. This is just
it.
me
Like so
taking
far, like I've mentioned
suggestions
two
from
two
people.
people from history that you don't like, and
I
now you just
I
reject my entire.
what when did I say that I didn't like Charlie Kirk or King David?
You prefer not it be the variable of discussion.
Yeah, but you said I don't like them.
Okay, I like the second pope.
Okay, what was their name?
Uh, Let me get some context. I don't want to bear false witness. It's in contention with the Crusades. He's the reason they happened.
Okay, so the Crusades. I
Second,
will accept that as a topic.
yes, that will be the event. Because I honestly, for the majority of my life, thought they were a bad event in history.
Well, they weren't perfectly good.
Of course not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's, war is hell.
Now, to narrow this down further, because there have been as many as 14 crusades, which one would you say you are most interested in?
Um, so let me see 1 second. It was Pope Urban II who called the First Crusade in 1095.
Okay.
So that one, because that one was where he urged Western Christians
Mhm.
to aid the Byzantine Empire and reclaim Jerusalem from the Lord Saladin or Muslim control. Kind of like today. You look at like the movements in the UK and in Europe, how they're trying to pause or at least bind the Islamic expansion. Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of like how history is kind of repeating itself, and obviously, I'm not trying to share my bias against Islam because I obviously have one as a Christian. But if you were to approach the historicity of Pope Urban II and why he called for the First Crusade in the first place,
Wait,
like
you
what was
said
taking
you
place?
said Pope Urban was the second pope?
No, I said Pope Urban II, meaning his father was the senior,
No,
right?
before you mentioned the crusades, you said the second pope.
Yeah, so the Pope Eugenius after him called the Second Crusade in 1145.
No, but you literally said the second pope.
Yeah, the first and second Pope were the ones who called the Crusades
No,
from
the fir-
1095 to 1145.
the first pope was Peter, and then it was Linus.
Did I say Peter or Pope Urban?
No, you said the second pope, which was
That would,
Linus.
that would be Pope Eugenius the third. What are you reading? What's your source?
The
I'm talking
Catholic
about
Church.
I'm talking about yeah, again, I'm not talking about two indistinct crusades. I'm literally giving you the year 10,
Okay,
1095,
here's
Pope
the
Urban II.
here's the progression. Okay, you gave me King David. I said, give me a source outside of the Bible that talks about and verifies the truth of David versus Goliath. Couldn't do that. Okay, so I asked you to give me a second one.
No, I rejected the premise because you then added to your prompt that you want to look into the book or look into the factoid, and
Okay,
you just refused
are
because you have a
you are
Bible.
you familiar with how debates are supposed to be run?
I didn't know this was a debate.
Well, you're trying to make it into one, so
I'm not. I mean, do you know my worldview?
the fact that I don't know your worldview doesn't say anything to whether or not you're trying
Would
to turn this into a debate.
Well, your worldview would tell you a lot on any knowledge claim. Like for example, you're making a knowledge claim that David never existed.
No, I did.
How
I
how
did
did
not
you
say
arrive?
that. I did
So
not say that David never
prove to me
existed.
that you can logically arrive at David not being a king who
I,
pummeled a
dude,
giant.
I literally never said that David never existed.
Okay, so then ask me why I like King David. He was a good singer. He actually sung to the king
The
to
reason
quell
I asked you for a
his
second source
psychosis.
is because, as I've already said, I already own a Bible and I've already read the story of David and Goliath.
Okay, great.
So I asked you to give me a secondary reference to the
So
event.
if you download an app called Netflix, right? They have a movie called David. Great movie.
Is that a
And then
book?
on Prime Video,
Is that a book?
yeah, yeah, I would call it an audiobook with visual interface.
So a movie.
Words,
So
There's also a show called House of David.
now you're just being ridiculously and incorrectly pedantic.
I mean, when you invest millions of dollars into a production, I wouldn't call it like for example, Mel Gibson just finished The Passion Part 2, an insignificant movie that the world's gonna rush to see.
Is Black Panther Wakanda Forever also a book?
You'd have to ask a black person. I don't speak Wakanda.